Good morning, good morning, good morning, and good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Welcome to Purple Passions Boutique, and this is your super fantastic Saturday news break. Okay, let me slip back here and pull my screen down so we can go ahead and catch these comments. And if you're dropping in, you know how we start this off. Go ahead and let me know where you're coming in from. Drop your city, state, or just a state. Let me know where you're coming in from. Let me know what your weather conditions are. Okay. That's what we want to talk about first. I want to know what your weather conditions are. Because last night, I think we got about 6 to 12 inches of snow. And my son is out there right now putting in the work with the shovel. Getting rid of that snow. And I can see him on the camera too, and he's hurting. He is absolutely hurting, okay? So, let me know what your weather conditions are. I know it's cold out in Alabama. I heard that in our VIP chat, right? So if you're not part of that, that is something new for Purple Passions, right? VIP chat, okay? So, yes, snow. Yes, Miss Knight Snow. Welcome in, Miss Knight. Trish, how you doing out there in Arkansas? I know where you two are from. Yes, we got 6 to 12 inches of snow last night. 6 to 12 inches of snow last night. My son is out there right now trying to beat everybody to the block right now, shoveling driveways to get some money in his pocket, right? So, so we just cold. I think we'd rather have it that way, right? But yeah, we got snow all night long, and it's still snowing a little bit. And we're going to get it for the next 2 days until we get this winter blast. It's supposed to be negative, 10 to 25 wind chill blowing on Monday, I think. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we got it going on, right? So, hey, I'm not complaining. Yeah. I remember the first time I saw snow in Florida, I think it was about 98, 99. And I never seen so many people run in the South run for jackets. I mean, it wasn't even that bad, right? But I just came down from up north. They couldn't handle it. So, but welcome in, Queens. Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome in, Ms. Glover. You know, welcome to our live show. You here on Purple Passions Boutique. You're here for the news break, and we got some things to discuss, right? I missed you guys last week. I'm here this week, and we gotta cover, and I got a short amount of time to do it, so we're gonna make it short, fast, and brief, okay? So if you don't mind, let's boost this algorithm. Share, tag sellers, mainly sellers, tag shoppers. Everybody tag 10 people. Let's get them up in here so we can talk about the things we need to discuss. All right?
Hey, ladies, I'm here too.
My wife is here in the back. She's got her voice back, so that's a good thing, right? And so today we all throwback today, right? You guys ain't seen nothing like this. We all throwback, right? It's all right, babe. I got him here for a reason. You feel my hands right now? Ooh. Yeah, it's cold. She like, take your hands out your pocket. Like, my hands are cold. So I used to be in the military. They'd be like, take your hands out your pockets. I'd be like, why do you give me pockets for? My hands are cold, right? So that's what we gave you gloves. Oh, I forgot about that. Go put on my gloves and my Gore-Tex, right? So, but yeah, we are all throwback today, right? All throwback champion. You know, I love the throwback. I love the old Adidas. I'm loving that, right? So, you know, we gotta keep on.
Got the shoes on.
I'm champion down to the socks and the shoes. I promise you. No cap, not playing. All right. I love the throwback era, right? So, you know, this is from back in the day, like paid in full time, right? So that's what we doing. But
everybody tag some sellers,
everybody
please.
share on your page. Tag 10. I don't have to go over any formalities.
We only have an hour.
If you guys got anything to say, drop it in the chat. Go ahead, babe.
We have only an hour, and then Miss Vicky is on, so we try to get the news break popping.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the news break out of the way, so I don't have a lot of time because you got Miss Vicky Drain coming in to grace you guys on our platform and put in the work, you know. So, hey, let's get everybody in here and let's get it started, okay? So where we at? Where's my time check? How long I've been running right now? I'm on 5 minutes.
3 minutes.
3 minutes in, okay.
4 minutes.
3-4 minutes in, okay. Got about another minute, then we're gonna kick it off, all right? I hope all you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are having a blessed and safe weekend. I hope you guys are not touching this cold weather like we are. But like I said, we got 6 to 12 inches last night, so it was rough. You know, it was very rough. I'm telling you, it is cold out there.
Hey, Trisha. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Miss Ebony. You know. Hey, Miss Pamela. Yeah, so.
I don't even see Miss Pamela in there. I'm seeing 11, but I don't even see.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the screen at my boss. I don't see everybody in here, so I guess got to be looking at both of them, right? So, okay. So, Anybody that's, all you others that are watching, jump on in here, drop me a line, let me know where you're coming in from. Good morning to you, good afternoon to you. Like I said, I'm an hour behind you, so I'm going to give you both greetings. Jump in this chat. If you got any suggestions, problems, issues, grievances, drop it in the chat. We're going to try to address that. If I don't address it here and now, then you'll get a message from me. I will send a shout out to Miss Miller. I know she's going to be here today. She sent me a message. I'm not ignoring your message. I saw your message. I'm going to get back to you. I'm just reading myself into the message, reading myself into what you want, and we're going to square that away, okay? So
I just want to say something before you start with a news break. I want to say thank you so much, everyone, for your prayers and, you know, and for the well wishes. I'm halfway through, I think. Not 100% yet, but halfway through. I got my voice back. So thank you, everyone, for that. Is nasty. The flu is nasty. I don't wish this to nobody, right? So, yeah, just keep yourself, away. Hand sanitizer, wash your hands,
Lysol.
Lysol.
Like Miss Shane I said this morning. Lysol everything.
Spray
like COVID.
yourself in with whatever is necessary. Trust me, I just, yeah, so I just want to say thank you to you all.
Yeah, so I appreciate all your prayers. We don't get nowhere in life without it. We don't get nowhere without the angels watching us, right? So,
that's my son.
So that's probably my son coming in for shoveling snow. His back is probably hurting. He probably looking like I'm tired. I'm looking at him like, you got a few more houses to do, right? So he's got to learn it early, okay? So how you doing, Mr. Loris? Miss Pamela? No, I'm not the boss man. My wife's the boss man. I try to do what I got to do to keep myself out of the doghouse, right? That one always cracked me up, right? Go sleep on the couch. You're in the doghouse, Me and my wife have that understanding. It doesn't matter what's going on. We sleeping in the same bed. She not going over here, and I'm not going over there. We're sleeping in the same bed. If we got to roll over and be on different sides of the bed, that's fine. But we're gonna be in the same room in the bed. We started this together. We finishing this together. Once she messed with me, she stuck with me for the rest of her life. We understand this. So ain't no doghouse. Not for me or her. We in this together. We in it to win it, right? Like my name is Bennett. So, all right. So, where should we start? Okay. Oh man, I feel like that when I miss a news break during the week, I feel like that things kind of tilt downhill because you start seeing more issues, more aggression, more people being upset, and a lot of things going on. Yes, ma'am, Miss Glover, that's right. Ain't nobody said. I told her. I said, shoot, ain't no doghouse, is it, babe? If we mad at each other, you sleep on one side, I'm sleeping on the other. We're gonna be in the same room in the same bed.
Yep, that's
ain't
right.
no couch, ain't none of that. I promise you. But it seems like things tilt downhill a little bit, right? When I miss a news break. And I don't know if that's because, we're able to talk things out every week. And I think that's what's working for the community. And or maybe it's just that, sometimes things just get chaotic, right? So and I say that to say this, we're all adults. We've got to find better ways to deal with our grievances, and we have to find better ways to talk about it. So one of the first things I want to address is how are we communicating with people, right? So I always used to, when I was growing up with my mother was very direct, right? So my mother was always like, hey, she told you what it was. I remember when I was playing sports, right? My first basketball game I lost was to my mother on my little tight goal, right? I was in Muncie, Indiana. I wanted to play ball. And I was like, hey, I want to be this great basketball player. My mom took me out there. She beat me on my little tight goal, and I was mad. And my mom told me, she said that I was basically a terrible basketball player and that, that I wasn't good. And it hurt me. But then she told me how I could get better. And she said, it's up to you to make that difference if you want to get better. So she scolded me, and then she told me how to get better, right? And I took that. And if anybody knows me from them days, the best player that you saw come out of that era, that time. Now, why do I say that? Because, that time my mother communicated to me directly, but she told me how to do things correctly too, So she bashed me, she smashed me, then she picked me up, she put me out together and told me how I needed to walk and get better, right? And I think that, one of the biggest lessons I learned is that how I'm communicating with you guys now, when we learn to communicate like that together, you're going to understand all types of people. We're going to be able to communicate on a good level. But when we're upset and we're trying to communicate, things don't work, okay? So I'm trying to talk to you how do we actively communicate in our community with each other, from shopper to seller, from seller to shopper, from friend to friend, whatever it is, right? Good morning, Miss Holmes. We communicate by talking to each other with courtesy, with respect, with tact, and at the right time. Okay. Now, when I say that, that means this: if we have something to address, right? When my queens are on live shows, right? When Stella's on live shows, okay, I am asking everyone to follow what I'm about to tell you right now. If there's anything dealing with something, some type of grievance, if you're upset, any type of shipping, tracking, packages, delivery, damage, anything like that, that seller has their message going the whole all day long, all night long. Leave them a message, okay? If they don't get it, because the next thing someone told me was, well, what if they don't get back to me? Well, that's what I'm here for, okay? Send me what you sent them, because Mr. Clark is not judging anybody off word of mouth of what you say. I'm judging off of proof. If you're stating this, be able to prove this to me and show it to me. If you can't, I have to let it go in that direction until I put my hands on proof. But trust me, I'm watching, okay? So what I'm saying is that when there is a problem with a seller, reach out to them directly and let them know, hey, I wasn't happy about this. I'm unsatisfied about this. I want my tracking number, which is going to be another thing I talk about, and communicate actively with that person, okay? That is what you need to do. Do not do that inside their live shows. And I'll tell you why. It has nothing to do with protecting the seller, but it's to protect the interest of the seller and what that seller is doing, okay? When that seller is in a live show, that seller, I have my admins, my moderators, I have my wife. I'm there on the outside. We have all these people there to ensure that they're getting the best sales, they're not getting trolled, that everything's going smoothly so they can solely focus on selling, because that is what they're there to do. My job is to promote them, push them, and take care of all the outside to make sure that they can focus on selling, show the items they need to sell, the show, and sell those items to their customers, to their clients, okay? Mm-hmm. So that is what our job discipline is at that moment. So anything else is kind of unsanitary. And I said it's unsanitary, I mean it's toxic, okay? It can't be there, it doesn't need to be there, okay?
So the situation, what happened basically was two sellers, they was arguing on the seller live about, and then even after the live. So what happened was, one shopper was unsatisfied with a seller, so she hopped on her live and she started arguing about not receiving her items, not receiving a tracking number, paying her invoice. So that seller then later on hopped off the live because she didn't have a bot. This also a thing that we need to discuss. She didn't have a bot. So so then a day later, this continued, right? And they hopped on the live instead of going to each other messengers. They hopped on the live and argued the whole thing out on the live. So I received notifications, of course. I looked at it and we decided to delete the live because people find it amusing, right? So when people find things like this amusing, then they start sharing the live, they start sharing context, and so on and so on. And I don't think this is something that should be, that we should be amused about it, two people arguing, because this is really on a live too. So the right thing to do is we deleted it. We informed everybody. We had talks with those two people, right? And we said, this is not what we're doing, not on the live, not on Purple Passions. Like if you have a situation, message that seller or message us, and then we go message them. But not on the lives. This is absolutely unprofessional on both ends, on the seller and on the shopper side. And then everybody wants to be right. Nobody wants to admit to nothing. So there is always, when a person doesn't receive the items or doesn't receive a tracking number or doesn't receive an invoice or whatever, so there's a reason for that. So we need to find out why did that happen. So we need to reach out to the seller first and see what's going on over here. Did that person even shop with you? Did
it happen on our platform?
Did it happen on our platform? Right. What happened?
When did it happen?
When did it happen? How long did you not, invoice or whatever? So there are things that should be discussed in private and never on the live.
Right. I'm just one of those people that if you grew up in my time, privacy was privacy, all right? How things are kind of out in the open now. I didn't grow up like that. If you were a certain way or if you're this way, it didn't matter. All business was private, okay? Everything was kept in the home and the household. There was a way to discuss things, okay? You pull people to the side and be direct. That's why I always tell people that, you know, and I tell people when I said I'm talking about my admin team and the people that are with me with Purple Passions Boutique, and I tell them, do not put a comment on Facebook or Spacebook, whatever you want to call it, that you're not willing to stand for and say in that person's face when you see them one-on-one out there in the public. That's what I tell my team. Don't do it. Because I said that's where you lead into what I call gangsterism and all this other stuff and you know, text gangsters and all this stuff. I said I'm not doing that. If we have to talk to people, we're going to communicate. We're establishing communication. We're going to communicate the right way. Mm-hmm. That's first and foremost. So I'm not putting nothing on there that I'm afraid to talk to you about if I see you in person. And why am I saying that? Because another incident happened was that when your bot is not working, and I put on there that you need to kill your live because you don't have a bot, and then I get feedback that was rude. Okay, that's fine, you know. But like I said, nobody came and addressed me with it, so I'm not going to listen to a third party and tell me how somebody felt because I have an open door policy. If you got something to say to Mr. Clark, come to my direct message, call me on Messenger, and we'll discuss it. Okay, no problems at all. But what I will say is that I give everybody the same protocol. That protocol is put out when you're signing up for that live show. When you're booking it, you got instructions that say you must have a bot. Okay? And you're checking that you will have a bot. You're checking yes. So read what you're signing up for, that fine print. Because had everybody, like I said, had everybody paid attention to that, then you wouldn't have had that issue. Mm-hmm. That's first and foremost. And then there will be no Mr. Clark is rude, Mr. Clark is that. Mr. Clark is just saying how it is, okay? And that's the only way I know how to say it. So that's the first point I want to address. If you have any grievance with Mr. Clark directly, please use the open door policy. Come talk to me because it's not a problem. I'm not a rude person at all. I promise you, I'm not. I'm probably gonna laugh about it. I said, okay, maybe you know, sometimes I do got that droopy the dog look, right? And it probably might make everybody a little bit scared. I promise you, I'm only biting on Wednesdays, all right? I promise you, I'm pretty cool, okay? So, but come talk to me about it because, like I said, it's no sweat. I'm just here to push people in the right direction. And if I hold one person to that standard, I got to hold everybody to that standard. Whether I love you, like you, whether I know you, whether I have an outside relationship with you, you know, outside of the context of Purple Passions Boutique, everybody's held to that same standard when it comes to our platform. And I have to ensure that happens. So when someone's saying, hey, their body's not working, I'm either reaching out to Gary, I'm telling you to hold on, or I'm telling you, hey, I can't get a hold of him, kill your live. And then I'm going to send you a message, say, tell me what's going on. Let me let Gary know and see if we can't fix it, okay? So
Latoya just said right here, hey, Latoya, don't ask for payment upon receipt, and you can provide tracking info upon request.
Hold on. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. We're not there yet.
I know.
Toya always be coming to the guns blazing.
But what I want to say to the bot is this. So like my husband just explained, you clicking why you in the on the booking link that you have to have a bot, mm-hmm. that you agree to our policies, etc., etc. So a bot is necessary, and you cannot go live without a bot. And there's a reason why we want the bot in there. So I have had in the past several sellers. They said, "Oh, today I'm not going to use the bot." This is not your decisions to make on Purple Passions Boutique whether you're going to use the bot or not. Mm-hmm. There's only one answer to this, and this is you have to have a bot. Mm-hmm. Now, whether you paid for your bot and then you didn't have it, this is something totally different, and then you have to quit your life and you have to reschedule. Mm-hmm. If that comes so far that you realize that you don't have a bot because you missed payment to lawyer shops, that means you have to reschedule your life. Mm-hmm. We on Purple Passions Boutique also not offering our bot for you to go live. This is not what we're doing. Other platforms doing this, I think they charge $35 an hour or something like that. We're not doing this because there is also policies that we have with lawyer shops.
Yeah, Gary told me firsthand that you're not allowed to and you shouldn't do it.
Yeah, you
that
shouldn't do it.
That came directly from Gary, so that's why I've never ventured on that side of sharing my bot or letting somebody use my bot because Gary said that's a no-go.
Right. So we don't want to do this with the bot. So please, anyone, again, you have to have a bot in order to go live on Purple Passions Boutique. Mm-hmm. And that's it.
Yeah, so, you know, and that's just the fine tunes of that, okay? So, I'm just letting you guys know that. So it's not me getting rude, it's just me just making sure that everybody has a bot. One of the other reasons, too, is to keep down, you know, who claimed what. you know, because everybody's seeing it different from their internet, how fast the internet is going. Then you run into mishaps and arguments about, I claim this, you claim that. It's really a thing to kind of be the middle person and control it. What the bot registers is what's getting registered, okay? And I think it does a fairly good job of that. We have seen some issues recently, but I'll discuss those at another time too. So with that said, that is the bot situation. Now on to the ensuing argument, okay? I don't want any more arguing in comments during lives, after lives, or on chats, okay? If you got something to address with sellers, take it to the chat. Take it to the chat, okay? And I'm telling you this because I'm not mad at either person involved, actually, okay? You know, what I looked at and saw, I said, hey, had the communication been different and they would have just engaged each other outside of that, then it would have been fine. You know, I mean, my views went up, but I don't want to make business on people's misery or on people feeling bad and people not being good. I'm not a person like that. I don't thrive on people. I don't live off people taking people's kindness for weakness. I don't live off somebody being weak. I don't live off taking advantage of somebody. I grind every day for mine. I am a grinder. That's what I do. That's why we're doing this, okay? So
thank you for the stars, Mr. Morrow.
That's my personality, and anybody that knows me, they know this, okay? From Florida to Indiana to New York to Virginia to Cali to Texas, everybody. They know that about me. Even in the military. I work hard for everything that I got, and that's what I intend to do, okay? So I'm not making money off your views because you're having an argument. But what I will do is step in and say, hey, we're both adults. We need to find a better way to communicate this, okay? And like I said, until I have proof, then things run a certain way. I'm watching, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do, and I'm not moving and jumping when somebody tells me to jump. That's a proper way. If there's a situation, I'm going to talk to everybody involved in that situation. I'm going to get my opinion. I'm going to get my paperwork. I'm going to get my documents. I'm going to put it together. And then I'm going to engage who I feel like I need to engage about this, okay? So when we have arguments, let's take it to the chat. Let's be respectful, tactful. Let's not go tick for tat. Let's not argue with each other. Let's talk about it somewhere else. Thank you, Miss Randolph. And let's do it the right way. Now, on the tracking numbers, okay? Listen, if you are...
No, first, before we go to tracking numbers, the next issue is shipping out packages in a certain amount of time frame.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what happened in 2026. I don't know what happened, but my inbox is floating since January from shoppers and sellers. They're telling me that they don't receive the packages in time. They're waiting weeks over weeks. I had a talk this morning and found out that somebody shipped the package out on the last day of December, you know, and still didn't have it, supposedly. So I want you guys to understand this. Nobody is dumb. No shopper is dumb. No seller is dumb. When you provide tracking number, right, then everybody can track the package. But when you provide the tracking number and the package is sitting for a whole week or 10 days still in your house, the shoppers can track this and see where the package is. And when the package is after 10 days and 14 days still at your house, that means you never shipped out. That's what it means. So in order to have a healthy relationship with your shoppers, you as a seller, as a professional seller, because everybody expects professionalism from a seller, right? Right, babe? It's the A&O is to be professional, because nobody would want to shop with somebody who is not professional, because then you run exactly in this situation that you waiting for a package 3 weeks, right? And nothing is coming. And then you reach out, you be like, where's my tracking number? Where's this? Where's that? And then you have the situation that led basically into arguments, you know, and you losing your shopper like that.
Okay. So I'm gonna address this. Like I said, I'm gonna address this in tracking the ship. I'm gonna line it all up for you, okay? If you require payment in a certain amount of time, then you got that. You should be shipping within that certain amount of time. If you're shipping on a certain day, and if it's once a week, let that person know you're shipping out on what day it is. Make sure that your customers are briefed. Make sure you're shipping out on that day. If you do not ship on that day, then you owe them a response of why you didn't ship and what's your plan of action, or your POA, your plan of action on when you're going to ship again, okay? So people can coincide with their schedules and what's going on with receiving their packages. Okay, some people live in rough areas. Some people have porch pirates, which has been all over the news. So they're like, hey, when's my package coming? I need to have somebody here. I need to have my neighbor watching. I need to have somebody swing by the house because I'm working. I need to make sure that my packages are secure. Okay, so that's some of the issues that the shops are going through on that end. So they're not just asking because they're trying to rush it. They're asking because they're trying to protect their property that they've already paid for. So if they paid for it, you need to get it to them in a timely fashion. You guys know Purple Passions Boutique rule on it. And if you don't know that policy, then let me know. I'll send it to you. But what I'm telling you is I'm not running your business. But if you say, hey, I'm going to, yeah, I'm gonna show that too. Once you require payment within 24 hours, then you should be shipping within 24 hours. And I'm not saying this ever because most people adhere to that. I can tell you this already. But, you know, it's just because you missed a day or something came up in your life and you didn't ship on that Wednesday don't mean that it's okay for you to hold it for another week and don't tell somebody something. It's also not okay not to tell somebody when someone asks for a tracking that you don't have a tracker number to provide. Now, can there be a discrepancy with the system with USPS? Yes, it can. I had one with one of my clients, and it's just happened 2 weeks ago, and I tell you what it was. I moved out some packages. I moved out 20, I think, no, it wasn't 20, I think 47 packages that day, right? So I got my UPS is being audited. They took my normal carrier. They moved him out. Normally when UPS comes anywhere in the world, what they're supposed to do, they're supposed to scan that package. I noticed from talking with the postmaster, they're supposed to scan that package before they put it in the truck. So that way it's already scanned. When they take it to the station, that home station, they're supposed to be dropping it off, right? So what do people do? They're moving so fast, they're behind on the route. They take all of them and throw them in the truck. Mm-hmm. Then they take them and they throw them in one bin. If you ever been to UPS, they got crates, right? So they throw it in this crate. When that crate fills up, they throw it in that one. Now, small package, big package, it doesn't matter. So that it might not get scanned. So now that package is not traveling because it moves out with the crate, right? It's traveling and it's showing that it's sitting in my location, which it was showing, and I know that package wasn't there. So the client was upset. This client has been my client for 1.5 years. There's no way that I will hold their package. I said, listen, this is what's going on. So I told them, what did they do? Next thing you know, within 2 days, they showed up on the porch. No scan at all, but still showing it was at my place, and then it just showed up at the house. I noticed because I'm playing with the system. I've been doing this for too long, okay? So trust me when I tell you that. But what is not okay is that when they're showing 14 days at that same location, there's no way to move through any UPS from the East Coast to the West Coast, from the North to the South, and it's set there with that same tag for 14 days if it's not sitting at your place of residence. So you owe your clients a tracking number. You owe them a valid tracking number and a package that's moving, and you owe them that time frame that you dedicated to them to ship their package. That is what I'm telling everybody. And that's not telling you how to run your business. It's about respect. Respect for your client respect for you. Okay? So I want you guys to try to work on this as sellers, to keep that in mind and make sure that we're getting things out, we're getting things shipped, we're getting things packaged, and we're getting it put out, okay? Let's not lie to each other, because we start off the new year lying. If we start off lying to each other, eventually relationships break. The number one reason relationships break is because the foundation starts on lies. Nobody's being honest at the beginning. That's why relationships break. Somewhere in there, there's a lie, and it normally starts off with lies, and that's why it eventually breaks, okay? Let's not lie to each other in 2026. Let's keep it together. Let's keep moving together, okay?
I have also something that came to my ears. So there are sellers out there, and they have in little baskets, right? They have in little baskets, and they say, I'll put it in your basket. I'll put it in your basket until your basket is full, and then I'm going to ship it out to you and sending you an invoice. So it came to my ears that our shoppers be shopping basically until they have a certain amount full in their baskets,
the
right?
Basket case.
The basket case. Chases on the case, right? The basket case. Mm-hmm. So they shop until the little basket is full, right? And then the seller was like, do you want me to send you an invoice now? Your basket looks pretty full. They say, yes, please. So they get their invoice, they pay the invoice, and all of a sudden, a day later, after they pay the invoice, they have the next invoice in the inbox saying, I started your basket with the remaining 3 items. Mm-hmm. So you are obligated basically to shop again with that seller to fill your basket. The seller will not put all your items, right? Will not put all your items on your invoice. It leaves like 3 items out.
Nobody told you about the second basket, huh? Mm-hmm.
So nobody was saying, that there are 3 items. I need to look who's at the door.
I finished.
You finished that?
So basically, what's happening is they're putting your items in a basket, right? So this is dedicated to that person. Then that person gets an invoice for that basket. Say this was always in your basket. Here's your invoice. The person's paying it. 48 hours later, they get another invoice saying, "Hey, I had another 3 items for you that started in another basket. So here's your invoice for this." And that person's like, "Why didn't you just put it all together?" You know. So what they're doing is like they're chopping invoices, trying to run it on shipping, right? And trying to get over, right? So $1 here, $1 there, right? So this came to our ears, right? So I call it the basket case, right? What I'm saying is that, hey, pack all that stuff up. If you guys need a list of bags that you should keep on hand, I'm telling you, you guys think I'm lying, right? The reason why the policy page isn't up right now is because you can ask my admin expert, you can ask anybody that knows me. I'm building a manual, so I got a whole manual, SOP. I got Appendix A. I'm like in Appendix D right now of different things, right? So what I'm telling you is that if you need a list of bags that you need to send items, then let me know. And I will let you know exactly what you need, because there are packages where you can put everything in there and still ship it in with care and congruently to your clients. Okay.
Did you finish the basket case?
Yes. Yeah, so with the basket case, don't give me an excuse that you couldn't put everything in a package, because our package is big enough, and don't be trying to siphon money out of people and ship it in 2 different settings within 48 hours of each other, because that's just that's not good. Hello, just checking on.
No, it's for me.
Okay.
So you have to ask that seller, that's the basket case, are these all my items that was in the basket? You know, whoever you shopping with always say, is this all my items, or do you have any remaining items? Ask that, please. Because if you want to avoid a separate new invoice or whatever from that seller, then you need to ask. You need to ask, because I never thought that I would have a conversation about this in the news break, that sellers are really doing this, right? But obviously they do. So this is a new case right here.
Well, it's also part of shopping responsibly, right? Yes. When we say shop responsibly, that means that you're supposed to be writing down your item number, you know, taking screenshots, writing down those items to identify what other invoice you have, you know. So you should be checking that invoice, verifying that invoice. I used to tell people all the time, we send invoice, I want you to read your invoices so you get familiar with it, so you know how it works. You can tell me about the changes, and that way you know. So that way when you shop responsibly, it won't lead to that situation either. So when you're doing pre-work on things, it's going to save you from situations. That's why I put out information. I'm like, hey, if you do this, it's going to keep you from XYZ down here, right? So do ABC, it keeps you from XYZ, right? So that's why I tell people different things. They're like, it's always these rules, all these different things, but yet you see the problems and the hiccups that come inside. And I say, hey, did you shop responsibly? Yes, I did. Well, did you write down this ABC? No, I didn't. Okay, well, that's why you're getting this problem over here. So let's focus here and do that, and that's going to clear up this over here, right? So that's why I do these news breaks, to try to show you guys how to walk through these processes, so you don't have to get mad, stressed out, beef and arguing, and then you know you can't stand this person, and we got posts going everywhere. Let's not do that, right? Let's have integrity for ourselves first, and then integrity for everybody else, right? So the next point I want to get to, right?
It's our business,
okay, our business, all right? So do you guys see this, right? I'm gonna put this out here so everybody see, right? You see this one is fluffed up, still in the package, right? Still in this package. And trust me, right? You see this package. This is not.
And look at that.
This is not a.
Look at the material,
right? It's still material. This is not a grocery bag, right? It's not a vegetable bag, right? I just want everybody to know this, right? Okay. And you see this one. This one's vacuum sealed, right? Same pillow, vacuum sealed, right there. So everybody's like, okay, why are you talking about this? Okay, so I tell you what happened. This came in the same package, right? So I do have pillows, just so you know, but this came in the same package. One is still vacuum sealed, one is not. So how does that happen? That happens when people tossing packages. That happens from temperature change, okay? If you're going...
Well, first of all, this is exactly the way... This is...
In the same package...
This is the same... In the same package, how we receive our pillows from our vendors. Like our vendor sends the pillow out like this, and it's here sealed. You see the seal stripe. It's not open. Was never open before. And the same one is here. So I had a customer complaining to me that the pillows arrived in a vegetable bag. How you buy vegetables in Walmart, you know, things like that. and her pillow was puffed up already, basically like this. But this is how the pillow arrived also into my house.
Right.
Now, why is it arriving like this, babe?
It's arriving like that because of people throwing packages. I worked logistics for a long time in the military too, and I've done every job from kicking indoors to infantry. I've done a lot of different jobs, right? Even mailroom. When people are tossing packages and it's vacuum sealed, just that little shift in that package can create a tiny pinhole or discomfort in that seal. And when it creates a discomfort, it's going to expand. Now, this is actually, and believe it or not, this what you see is actually still vacuum sealed. That's the crazy part about this, right? Because if I actually open this packaging, it's going to still double in size. Okay, so this is actually still vacuum sealed. Now it's not vacuum sealed like how everybody else is taught is vacuum sealed, which everybody's taught this, right? So this is supremely vacuum sealed, right? Packed for space, so they save on shipping, right? So you don't know what's happening to it, but I assure you, I'm not altering any package. I'm sending you exactly what I get. Okay, so. I'm just letting everybody know that. So if you've received it like that, sometimes I may have sent it out. It may have been vacuum sealed and it may have puffed up on its own. When they're tossing that packages, setting stuff on top of the packages, this is what happens. Okay. So like I said, I'm not afraid to get on there and tell you how things are because that's exactly how it is. Okay. So I want you to be cognizant of that. And I put that in front of you so that you know. Okay. And that's how I am. Like I said, I don't throw rocks and hide my hands.
We open the outside package, which is a mailer.
Right.
We get our pillows out, and exactly in that state that you see right now, we're gonna ship it to you. So we don't even open the whole pillows and investigate the pillow.
Right.
You get it sealed like this in that plastic, and get it sent to your house. So we don't even touch the pillow. So I don't even know why I had this conversation like this, but that was really rude, honestly, because accusing me to put the pillows in a vegetable bag of a grocery store.
I don't even entertain that. I just say that you can't make everybody happy. Everybody's doing the best they can, and guess what? When we have the ability to make it right, we make things right, and that's what it's about too. So you're not going to be able to please all your clients because I want everybody to know that. But I want you to do the best that you can, okay?
Right.
It's always going to be somebody's having a bad day, and because they're having a bad day, they want you to have a bad day, or something didn't come the way that they like it. So now they want to make a problem because they've got that inner, inside of them. And as I told my people yesterday, I said, we got to start working on ourselves, right? When you go to the doctor, they check what's going on with your blood pressure. They're taking blood, they're taking all these samples. They're trying to figure out what's going on internal with you so they can figure out what's actually happening to you externally, right? And if we look at our life, right, so we need to look at our physical and our spiritual, right? We need to be working on our fruits of the spirit, right? As I put into the chat this morning, so that way we can, which is our internal, right? So we can figure out what's going on externally with us. And if we're not building on those fruits of the spirit, if we're not taking care of ourselves the right way, okay? If we're not doing that, then how are we going to figure out what's going on externally in the physical with us if we're not taking care of the spiritual, what's going on inside of us, okay? And this is about character. Thank you, Miss Long. She said she loves my pillows. I appreciate that. All of you that like our products, please go leave us a review. It helps us out a lot, right? So, and this is what I told my team. When my team gets upset, they have things going to say, listen, when you go to the doctor, they're checking internally with you to find out what's going on externally with you. In your life every day, you need to go and figure out what's going on internally with yourself, with your fruits of the spirit, and build that integrity, those character traits. Build on that so that way you can figure out what's going on physically, externally outside of you. Because if you're not, you're going to lose. You're going to lose every day getting out here, okay? Life is both physical and spiritual. You got to understand that. You got to be moving in the right direction. I understand that too well, okay? So with that, I'm not here to preach either. I'm just here to let you guys know that, okay? So do the best you can. Do not be afraid to make a mistake. Don't be afraid to ask for help. The only dumb question is the one the person doesn't ask. Do not be afraid to come and say, hey, I need training on this. Nobody knows everything. I don't know everything. And no matter how smart you are, you will still know everything in life. You can learn anything in life, but you can't know everything in life is what I tell people. And that's the truth, okay? So I want you guys to understand that. And with that said, like I said, I'm building I'm building a training module where sellers, when they come through, they're going to go through training. They're going to do testing. They're going to get certified. This is what I'm building right now because I feel like it's so much more that people need, and it may be a requirement for everybody. It may not be as massive as it is for a new seller, but it's going to be some type of training because it's based on our platform. Because I want people to be able to come to our platform and thrive. I think you're going to thrive on knowledge and knowing how and why we're doing things over here, and that's how you're going to thrive on our platform. You cannot thrive anywhere if you're not willing to learn and know, okay? So it's not just running over here and going, I'm just going to go live and not understanding what's happening on this platform, what's going on. I want to be able to teach you guys so that you guys can be successful here and check some of that information when you go other places, okay?
And I think the difference with our platform to others is that we really do care whether you are successful
We do care.
as a seller, whether you make money as a seller, and whether it's important that you have people on shopping with you.
Right.
We do care. Because I remember myself many times that I went on platforms, and like I said, I never mentioned any names, but when I went on different platforms and there was nobody sharing, nobody tagging, nobody gave you support, no admin on it, and you was basically on your own, right? And that was the bad part. And what I told my husband is what we want is, that's why we always tagging people into everybody's life, because it's not only us as the platform owner that wants to be successful. We want all the sellers to come to the platform, that you have the same success that everybody else has, you know, because you as a seller, why are you coming on a platform? You want to sell items. You don't want to have a conversation and just conversate and have people conversating with you. You have basically 50 watchers and not one buyer. What good does it do for your business? Nothing. Yeah. You want to sell, and this is the reason why we on Purple Passion tagging and sharing you out on different groups in different live chats, etc. So you are getting people on, they shop with you, because this is a shopping platform. This is not a talking platform. You know, and we sellers, we don't have it easy, because I always say I'm thankful for every sale that we're making, you know, and I believe that you sellers are the same way, because we got to be thankful. And it is not about, oh, I'm happy I made 3 sales, I'm going home. Those 3 sales on other platforms, they cost you only to go in on a live. They charge you $20. They charge you $35 to go live. And sometimes it is more than only 3 sales what you need to make that up, you know. So the success must be given. That's what I say.
Right. So many sellers be looking mean and grouchy. They don't have a smile on their face, and they don't have incoming, well-being, good spirits about them. Makes me not patronize them or want to buy from them. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. And this is why I've kind of built that framework. And like I said, you know, somebody's going to come to training. When they come to that training, they're going to be like, oh, man, wow. You know, y'all are so nice for helping us be great. This platform rocks. Yes. So what I'm saying is this, right? I want people on my platform that are coming there for the quality of the ethics and morals that we're standing on. And we want to sell you that conversion, you know, and then we want to transfer that into the correspondence of you selling, okay? When you guys don't have good sales as sellers, trust me, I know this already. And I'm not happy about it. I'm really not happy about it. In my mind, I try to figure out how I can help that seller. And some of those things, like Miss Paula said, some of that is the issue. Some of that is how you address people. Some of that is your lighting and different things. Now, the problem always comes when I say, hey, let me give you some advice. You're like, I know that, and then everybody's mad because you're not willing to learn, and you think that somebody's there to pick on you and say certain things. By all means, I tell you, like I said, my mother was very direct with us as her children, right? And what I say is this: if I don't tell you, then I don't care about you. But if I tell you, that means I care. That means I'm trying to help you fix something that could potentially help you out, right? And you're not going to find people. A lot of people can be like, oh, that's their problem, whatever. They paid, whatever. But guess what? I watched my wife when things weren't right because of the integrity of a situation on a platform. I won't mention that platform. My wife turned around and walked away from $185 she had put in, and she never got her lies. She never got compensated, nothing. She just stepped away from it because of the behavior of the owner and just walked away from that, okay? And I understood that at that moment, my wife, that integrity, respect, and moral character was and ethics was worth way more to her than a few dollars. So that's why I bring a lot of that to the table the same way. And I want to give you guys that careness, because that's what we have for you guys, and we want to see you guys successful, okay? You know, I got sellers that. Go ahead.
And one part I want to mention too. So you all saw that that I went down with prices on $2.26 for 1 hour live sale.
Mm-hmm.
So I got feedback. Oh my God, that's great! Thank you so much, and that helps us a lot because there was actually, the reason why I did that was to give sellers that are not so successful on other platforms a chance to come in, you know, to pay only the $2.26, and we try to give you all the people to shop, you know, to put people into your life to make money and to be good. Because what do I have as a platform owner? What do I gain from $2.26?
Yeah,
Nothing.
You can't get rich on $2.26.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Like this is nothing. But I did that because of 2026 January. This is my birth month. My birthday is tomorrow. So I said, you know what? To my husband, we're gonna give the people, you know, something nice, something good. And I always say, I wish, you know, the support from a lot of sellers would have been here more a little bit than what it is, because I noticed that when we're free, a lot of sellers hopping on and coming on and going live. But when I say $2.26, is even that of a struggle, you know, to basically bring a few sellers in. That's what I'm trying to say. And
thank you, Miss Evans.
You fit today.
And I tell my wife that's kind of one of those things that you know, America is built on, you know, freedom of press, freedom of speech, freedom, everything with free. So anytime somebody hears free, they run and jump on it. Okay, but what my mother used to say, everything that look good to you ain't good for you. Okay, she
Thank
said
you.
that. You know what I'm saying? So I always, you know, so I always understood that, you know, and it's good to go venture out and do that. But you know, you can tell the support level is different when it's free and when it costs, right? But we moderate our prices based on one thing, and that's to help you win. I don't gain anything from that, you know. I don't win on that, you know. I was telling my wife, I said that's like arcade money back in the day. They give you like $2-3 and you go get the 4 coins. You know what we're charging. You know, we want you to be able to sell one item. You've made that money back and make it through the process. Because when you go other places, yeah, you can go pay $70-$80, right? And guess what? You're not making that back, or you may make that back, and because a lot of people say, hey, if I go over here, I'm going to gain more people, more clients, right? And it could work out that way. It could not, you know, but you know, I want you guys to know that, you know, when you come here, you're going to put money in your pocket, and that's important. Okay.
Yeah, you make
That's very
sales.
important, and you're going to make sales, right? And when, like my admin expert said, Toy, she say, it's that purple money, right? That purple money. Come get some purple money. That's what she always say, right? And we laugh about that, you know. And don't forget, we got a purple police and we got a purple mafia too, right? So when we got Chase on the case, all right? So we got those things going on. But I tell you something else too. I appreciate all you guys that because I got some of you guys that are day one since we've been open. You've been with us every month, you know. And coming up, that's going to be something special for that loyalty that you've shown to our platform. I know who you are. I know what's going on, and I want to say thank you for that, and thank you to all sellers that have graced our platform, not just them, because some of you haven't been able to be there because of issues, okay? I know that too. But what I want to say is that I want to extend that thank you and that grace to you guys, you know, for just always supporting us, all right? Because it's not easy. You know, you have your home stations, you know, but to come over here, I think it took a lot of courage for a lot of you to even come over here to go live even one time. Just knowing how things run in the thrifting world. And so I want to say I thank you for that. You know, I tip my hat off because I know that was difficult. You know, I know there's clicks. I know it's different looks and how people feel and say different things. But for you to come over and rock with Purple Passions, it just takes a lot of character, right? And it shows what type of person you are, all right? So thank you for that.
We have our Martin Luther King marathon coming up.
Right. So we got our Martin Luther King marathon coming up. We're going to have
Valentine's Day marathon that you can already book. Lovers
Lane, the 7th through the 14th over there for next month. I call it Lovers Lane, right?
Yeah.
Every day is something about love, all right? And you're going to get the story of St. Valentine, where Valentine's Day came from. You can get that too, Lovers Lane. You got a big month, Mardi Gras next month. You got all kinds of stuff going, Groundhog Day. You got all kinds of stuff going on, right? Black History Month. You got Heart Awareness Month. Get hit the mouse.
No, it went out.
Oh, okay. So you have all that going on next month, but coming up real soon is going to be our Martin Luther King marathon. I want you guys to participate. Get your flyers in. You guys know the rule. If you don't put in your flyer, you're not getting any rights from Mr. Clark. It's not happening. Mr. Clark is the one responsible for giving rights and taking away rights. Ask Miss Minnie about that. She on me every day about taking the rights to go away. She just don't know. I'm trying to make it part of the family. I want her to get all the information I'm getting too. So let me leave Miss Minnie alone, right? But if you don't turn in your flyer, you don't get rights. Send the flyers to my wife, and you can send it to Miss Coleman too. But Miss Coleman's just going to send it over to my wife. So that's going to be the most important thing. I hope you guys are enjoying this chat that we just started up. We're going to see how that goes, and it may migrate into something else. But I hope you guys are liking it. You can find announcements and a lot of things there. Drop your comments there. Please participate in a picture wall drop. A lot of great items are being displayed and shown there. I'm trying to bring back some things that you guys are going to love. There we go. There he is right there. Matter Touch Clutch, MTK. Yes, honey.
Mr. Ken.
Mr. Kendall. Salute. Tank Dog, salute to you. Hello, everyone. I watched the replay. If I missed anything, yes, Miss Breakaway, you missed a little bit, not too much. And this minute on roar. There we go. She's back, right? So, we want you guys winning. It's all love over here, okay? I just want you guys to do better with each other as a community. When two people argue or anything happens in our community breaks. We need to keep our community together, okay? And we do that by, hey, sometimes you got to check down, hey, don't do that. Let's do this a different way. Let's take care of each other that way.
And to the sellers, my thing is just this. Mm-hmm. If I do a live, right? What
is your thing, babe? What is your thing?
My thing is this. When I do a live, or we do a live, the next day, either the same day or the next day, I'm invoicing. Okay, so you already know where your invoice is staying. If I have in the same week another live, I give you the option to shop with me again to add on to your invoice, right?
Combined shipping.
So combined shipping. If you don't want combined shipping, I'm shipping out as soon as you paid your invoice. I'm shipping out the next day. So your package is maximum in my house 3, maximum 4 days, and I'm shipping out. So this is actually not nice if I get messages that are saying, I paid my invoice 2 weeks ago and I still didn't get no tracking number. This is unacceptable. That's what I want to say. This is absolute unacceptable because people, when they pay for the items, they want their items. When you shop on Amazon and you put in your order, then Amazon ships out the next 2 days and you have it in your inbox saying shipping is on your way. You want your items. And the same is with the shoppers. They want their items.
Yep. That is true. So get your items to everybody.
Provide tracking numbers.
Provide tracking numbers. Let's do it the right way, okay?
That's pretty much it.
I think that's pretty much it. It's good to be back with you guys. I miss you guys. When I don't do those news breaks every week, I feel empty, because I love coming here doing that with you guys, okay? Because it's important, all right? And guess what? It's 2026. We're gonna move through 2026 the right way, not the wrong way. And we're gonna hold each other's hands and we're gonna walk through this process. So let's get it back together. Let's get strong and let's walk. These next few months are going to be hard because it's coming off the holidays. A lot of people don't have money. It's a lot of things going on. Be cognizant of that, okay? All right? It's a lot going on. Income tax is coming. There's a lot of things going on. So make sure that you pay attention to that, for different things. I am offering counseling services this year. That is through social services. I'm also offering consulting and marketing and stuff like that too. So a few people reached out for that. If I haven't got back to you, I will be in your inbox this week about what we're going to do, what's going to be that plan, and how I can assist you with your business, okay? So if you guys need anything like that, let me know, and I'll put you on a schedule, and we'll figure it out, okay? It's always about your business at the end. You represent your business. I want you to be successful, okay? And you can come here and learn and get the information and go be successful. So with that said, she's glad to hear Sabrina Clark voice again.
Yes, honey. Yes.
I don't know if my son is, because she on him. But I want you guys to have a blessed day. Stay tuned for Miss Vicky Drain. She's going to show you guys a lot of nice items. Later on, you got Miss D. Anza, and you got Mr. Janine Jackson after that. Okay? That's filtered information. If they're not here, let them know. Send them the link. Watch the replay. Let's filter the information so that we all have the same information too. We got to filter, okay? So share it out. And with that said, I will see you guys again soon. And remember, this is throwback today. All this, what you see, is throwback, okay? We're going to do a throwback day so we can go most throwback. I'm talking about Pele Pele, Avirix, and all that, okay? So I'll talk to you guys later. Love you all. Mwah.
Mwah. Bye-bye, queens and kings.